Dear students, in the previous video we saw what is bilinear transformation and what are their examples and invariant points with the examples. Now we are going to see the formula for finding out the bilinear transformation whenever three inputs z1, z2, z3 and three outputs w1, w2, w3 are given. Here if we know the transformation, say w equal to 2z, if we know the transformation, it is easier to find out the output whenever the input is given. Here the input is z and the output is w. See, when you are giving z equal to 1, that is input, w will be equal to 2. Similarly, when you are giving z equal to 2, the output will be w equal to 4, and you are given z equal to 6, the output will be 12. So whenever a function is known, it is easier to find out the outputs whenever the inputs are given. Whereas here you can give n number of inputs, you can find out similarly the outputs. Here what is the importance of this formula is, here we are going to find out the function. Here the function won't be given. Instead we will be given input and its output, respective outputs. For example, w1 is the output of z1, w2 is the output of z2, w3 is the output of z3. This will be the only information given. Using this information, we have to find out what is the bilinear transformation. With this input, we are going to find out what is the bilinear transformation. For that, this is the formula. Here, that is z1, z2, z3, w1, w2, w3 are all complex numbers. They are constants. They are complex constants. So this is the formula we are going to use. It is easy to remember the formula. Take this suffix as 0. We won't write it as a suffix. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 0, 3, 2, 1. In this way you can memorize this formula. Equals to, you are just replacing w as z here. That's it. This is what the formula. The procedure and the ideas will be given in the subsequent problem. Say let us take a problem. So this is the problem. Here we are going to find out the bilinear transformation. We have to find out the bilinear transformation which maps the points z equals to 1, I, minus 1 into the points w equal to I, 0, minus I. After that, once after finding out the bilinear transformation, using that bilinear transformation, we are going to find out the image of, that is output of mod z less than 1. We will discuss about this later. Once after finding out the bilinear transformation, we will discuss about this. So here the given data is z equals to 1i minus 1. We are taking it as 1 as z1 and I as z2 and minus 1 as z3. Similarly, the outputs were given as w equal to I, 0, minus I. I am taking w1 as I, w2 equal to 0 and w3 equal to minus I. Here we have written what were the given data. So the data will be inputs. We have to name it as z1, z2, z3, and the outputs we have to name it as w1, w2, w3. Our aim is to find out the bilinear transformation. The bilinear transformation notation is w. It will be in terms of z. For that only we are using this formula. This formula is, again I am telling you, we have to find out the bilinear transformation whenever 3 inputs and 3 outputs are given. For this only we are applying this formula. Now I will explain the procedure step by step. The very first step, we have to apply the values of W1, W2, W3 and z1, z2, z3 simultaneously on both the sides. So here w minus w1 is I, so I am writing it here, and w2 is 0, then minus w3, so minus w3 means minus of minus I will be plus I. Similarly w minus w3 is plus I, then w2 minus w1 is 0 minus I, equals to z minus z1, that is z minus 1, into z2 minus z3 I minus of minus 1. So I plus 1 by z minus z3 is given in the formula. So z minus z3 value is minus 1, so z plus 1, and z2 minus z1, for this I am replacing I minus 1. Okay, where the very first step is we have to substitute what were the given values. That is it. It's very simple. What about the next step? See here, this w, this term and this term, these two terms were the variables, that is w and z were involved in these terms, therefore these were the variables, and the remaining things were constants. I have written it clearly here. I am not going to disturb now the variables. I am not going to disturb the variables right now. I am going to keep it as it is, and I am going to simplify the remaining constants only. Okay, see, I am keeping w minus I, w plus I here, and z minus 1, z plus 1, and I am taking this term to the right hand side. So it will be going as a reciprocal. See, this denominator term will come in the numerator, and the numerator term will come in the denominator. And this term I am writing in the complex form. What is the complex form? A plus IB. First real part and then imaginary part. So I am writing as I plus 1 as 1 plus I. Similarly, the denominator minus 1 plus I. See here, the minus 1 is the real part and I is the imaginary part. So I am going to simplify only this term. I am not going to disturb the variables right now. So I am stopping the equation here, and I am going to just simplify this term alone, and I am going to come back again to equation A. Okay, in what manner we are going to simplify, that is what very important. Whenever we are knowing the destination, it is easier to achieve that. For that, our aim is to bring this quantity into a standard complex form. What is standard complex form? Standard complex form means it should be of the form A plus IB, that is the real part plus imaginary part. If you could find out what is the real part and what is the imaginary part, then it is over. See, for example, see, in 2 plus 3i, the real part is 2 and the imaginary part is 3. Like that we could able to find out what is the real part and what is the imaginary part. And one more thing, to bring any complex numbers to a standard complex form, keep one thing in mind: the denominator should not be a complex number. The denominator should not be a complex number. These are the things you should keep in mind whenever you are simplifying the complex number. This is not applicable only for this problem. For the entire problem in this type, this is what the steps we are going to proceed. We have to simplify these constant terms to a standard complex format. So I am taking this 1 plus I by minus 1 plus I into, see this is 0 minus I is minus I and 0 plus I is I am cancelling it out, equals to this minus goes inside, so minus 1 minus I by minus 1 plus I. So as I told you, the numerator is a complex number and the denominator is also a single complex number, but the entire amount is not of a standard complex form. For that, what we have to do is the denominator part. For this, what is the conjugate? The conjugate is nothing but we have to change the sign of the imaginary part. That is what here I is the imaginary part. So I am changing out the sign as minus I. So I am multiplying and dividing by the conjugate. So when you are multiplying the numerator, I will be getting this, and the denominator, that is z and its conjugate, will give you real part square plus imaginary part square. The real part is minus 1, so minus 1 the whole square, plus imaginary part is 1, the 1 whole square. So I am simplifying this. I square value is minus 1, so 1 plus 2i minus 1 by 2 equal to 2i by 2, which is I. So this term, for this term, it is simplified as I. So I am substituting in equation A, so that it will become as w minus I by w plus I equal to z minus 1 by z plus 1 into I. Then what is the procedure? Again a quick look back. Till then, what we have done till this step, we have given 3 inputs and 3 outputs. For that, this is the formula. The initial step, we have to substitute the inputs and outputs, and then we have to simplify whatever the constants we are having to a standard complex form, and then we have to replace it here. That is what so far. Then keep in mind, our aim is to find out the value of w, right? So here I am multiplying I inside, so I z minus I by z plus 1. Then the steps were very, very simple. We are just cross multiplying this term and this term. See, w minus I into z plus 1 equals to I z minus I into w plus I. Then we are multiplying this term, so I am getting this, and I am multiplying this term, I am getting this. Be careful when you are multiplying. Here 2 terms, here 2 terms, means on the whole you will have 4 terms. Similarly on the right, on the left, on the left 4 terms. See, our aim is to find out the value of w, so I am bringing all the w terms here. Here in this, from this step to this step, the steps were very simple. I am just putting I square equal to minus 1, so minus I square will be plus 1. From this step to this step, what is the procedure? I am bringing out all the w terms here, that is wz plus w. This iwz I am keeping it here, and minus iw will become as plus iw, and the remaining terms here. So minus iz will be plus iz, minus I will be plus I, and minus z plus 1. So I am taking out w common, so I will have z plus 1 minus iz plus I. Here I am taking out z common from this term and this term, so that I will be getting minus 1 plus I into z, and the remaining terms were plus 1 plus I. So I am finding out w here equals to minus of 1 plus I into z plus 1 plus I by this term. I am simplifying it like this. See, in these two I can take out the value of z common, so 1 minus I into z plus 1 plus I. So this is what the transformation. Okay, here you are having one option, whether you found out the bilinear transformation, whether it is correct or not. That is the very advantageous one. in this chapter regarding how to find out this answer is correct or not. See, in the given problem, it is given as for the input z equal to 1, the output will be I. For the input z equal to I, the output will be 0. For the input z equal to -1, the output will be -I. For this only we have found out the bilinear transformation. So now I know the transformation. This is what the transformation, and I know what were the inputs and what were its respective outputs. The only thing is we are going to verify one by one. See, if I put z equal to 1, I have to get w equal to I. That is what given in the problem. So I am putting out z equal to 1 in this transformation. So -1 plus I into 1 plus 1 plus I by 1 minus I into 1 plus 1 plus I. I have to simplify this. On simplifying this, just see the procedure. I am just multiplying and adding. That is what, very simple. So I am getting the value as I. Similarly, I am substituting z equal to I, and I am substituting z equal to -1. We are getting the results. So for all the 3 points you have to verify. That is what, very important. See, one more thing. This is the very important topic. You can expect one question from this topic, that is of this pattern. What pattern is? 3 inputs and 3 outputs will be given. You are going to find out what is the bilinear transformation for those inputs and those outputs. And one more thing is here, what is the plus point in this particular topic is you can verify your answer right away. Okay, now we are going to see the next part in this problem. We are going to find out the output of mod z less than 1. We are going to find out the output of mod z less than 1. See, whenever you are going to find out the output of some input given, here the transformation also we have found out. We have found out what is the transformation also. Using that transformation, we are going to find out mod z less than 1's output. That is what. See, to find out the output, we have to find out the value of z from the given transformation. See, from this we have to find out the value of z in terms of w. That is our objective. It will be a little more complicated. Again I have to cross multiply it, and again I have to take z on one side and w on another side. Of course, the other terms apart from z on the other side. It will be little bit complicated if I am proceeding from this step, whereas we are having this step. From this again I am applying the same cross multiplication procedure. In this we have found out w. Here I am going to find out the value of z. For finding out w, what we have done is we took all the w terms to one side and all the other terms to another side. Here the process is very simple. From this step, see, keep this in mind. From this step I am going to cross multiply as usual. The only difference is here we took w on one side and other terms on another side as we need w, but here the case is different. As we need z, we are taking out z terms on one side and the other terms on another side, so that I can easily find out the value of z. As in the same way we have found out w, right? So these were the steps. Have a quick look at these steps. It's very easier to find out, so I am not going to explain those things. Our aim is to find out only the value of z. It is easily arrived by just simply cross multiplying and then take z terms on one side and another terms to other side, take z common and bring it down. Now the input is mod z less than 1. For this I am going to find out the output. What we have to do is simply substitute the value of z here and we have to simplify it. That's it. See this one, that is minus 1 minus I into w plus 1 plus I. This modulus less than this quantity. I am bringing it to the right hand side. Now for w I am replacing u plus, for w I am replacing u plus iv. Similarly here also I am replacing w equal to u plus iv. Now I am multiplying these two terms, that is what the only change here. So I am getting 4 terms plus 1 plus I. Similarly these terms were multiplied here and I am multiplying this. Okay, in what manner the simplification is going? See, I have to find out the modulus in the left hand side as well as on the right hand side, right? I am going to find out the modulus. For modulus, again it should be in the standard complex form. The standard complex form means real part and then imaginary part. For that only I am proceeding the simplification like this. So I have found out what is the real part and what is the imaginary part. Similarly on the right hand side. What is the formula for modulus? Real part square plus imaginary part square, square root of, right? Square root of real part square plus imaginary part square. That is what done. 1 minus u plus v the whole square plus 1 minus u minus v the whole square less than, similarly here. Okay, next I can cancel out the square roots on both the sides and I am expanding. How I am expanding? You people know the formula for a plus b the whole square or a minus b the whole square. It is very simple. But what is the formula for a minus b plus c or a minus b minus c? No need to memorize all those formulas. Formulas were very simple. The first thing is just square all the terms. 1 square is 1, u square is u square, v square is v square. The next process is, see, what is 1 into u? That is 1 into minus u. It is minus u, right? With that I am going to multiply 2. That is it. That is minus 2u. Minus 2u. Then 1 into v is v into 2. So 2v and minus u into v is minus uv. With that I am again going to multiply 2 minus 2uv. So this is what the expansion of this one. See, again I am telling you, square all the terms. 1 square plus u square plus v square. Okay, then I am having 3 terms. You should take at a time 2 terms, that is 1 and minus u, these 2 terms, then 1 and v and minus u and v, so that I will have 3 combinations. All the 3 combinations should be multiplied and then again multiplied with 2. So 1 into minus u is minus u, with that I have to multiply 2, so minus 2u. 1 into v is v, with that multiply 2, so 2v. Minus u into v is minus uv, with that I am multiplying 2. That is what the simplification for the first one, right? For the first one, this is what the simplification. Similarly, the second one, see, 1 plus u square plus v square, that is 1 square is 1, that is what 1 means. 1 square is 1, u square, v square. Then again I am looking out for the combinations. 1 and minus u, with the symbol only you should take. 1 and minus u is minus u, with that multiply 2, so minus 2u. 1 and minus v is minus v, with that multiply minus 2v. So and minus u and minus v, you will get plus uv, with that multiply 2uv. Similarly, the same pattern is applied on the right hand side. Now I am just cancelling the like terms. If I am having 2 here and again the same 2 here, I can cancel the terms on the left hand side and the right hand side. If you have the same term with same symbol, you can simply cancel those. See the pattern what I am using. See, for 1 plus u plus 1 plus u square plus v square I am having here, as well as on the right hand side. Similarly here, similarly here. So I am cancelling all those 1 plus u square plus v square. Then here itself 2v minus 2v gets cancelled. Similarly here plus 2v minus 2v gets cancelled. So minus 2uv plus 2uv gets cancelled. 2uv minus 2uv gets cancelled. So what are the terms remaining? Minus 4u here plus 4u. I am taking all the terms to the right hand side. So here it will be 0. Minus 4u, it will go there. 4u plus 4u. So 0 less than 8u. So if you are reading from right hand side to left hand side, it will be 8u greater than 0. If I am reading from left hand side to right hand side, it is 0 less than 8u. If I am reading from right hand side, it will be 8u greater than 0. So I am getting u greater than 0. So u greater than 0 is the output of mod z less than 1. This is what the graph of the input and the output. The input will be in the z plane and the output will be in the w plane. U greater than 0 is nothing but the right half of w plane, and mod z less than 1 is nothing but mod z equal to 1 is the circle, unit circle. So mod z less than 1 is interior of the unit circle. Mod z greater than 1 means exterior. The outer portion will be covered. Mod z equal to 1 means only that curve. Only that curve. See, whenever in an equation there is an equal to, it represents only the curve. If it is less than or greater than, it represents the region. This is what very important. Okay, this is what the end of the problem. Only one thing is, simply watching video is not at all help you. You should work it out parallelly whenever you are watching the video. You should take a paper and pen and you should write each and every steps whenever you are watching the video. And you should listen to the instructions what we are saying, and then similarly you have to do it. Okay, all the best.